Hello. Normal service will be resumed tomorrow. But for the moment, after what happened the other day and the video that I posted, I thought it would be a good idea to make a video thank you because it just seems like not only the right thing to do, but also impossible. Well, not impossible, but more like hard work than actually making a video to thank all the people that have been very generous. I knew when I posted that video I was going to get some fairly good views because it's just the kind of thing people do like to see. You know, they want to find out what's gone on, which is human nature. Amazed, if I'm honest, by the amount of views this particular video has had, and the amount of comments and the amount of supportive comments and the amount of nice things that people have said, but also the amount of practical advice. And basically, it's just been quite amazing. Normally, when I post a video, I try and start off replying to comments, and then I go to sleep, and the next day I try and catch up, or I try and reply to some whilst doing something else, like finishing off a video. And then other times I just get inundated with them and I can't really find the time. And this was a very, very good example of not being able to find the time to reply to all of the comments. Have you seen how many there were? 143 comments. That is easily the most commented on video that I have ever done, and the most liked as well. It's typical because, you know, all I did was just go down to the yard and show you the damage on a car. Also, I just said, here's my email address. If you want to help, go ahead and do so. Just being cheeky, just thinking, you know, people do like to help, and it seems like many of you did, and I'm very, very grateful for that. In particular to Lee Thorndike, Pingu Concord, Alan Searle, Mickey Jeffries, Alan Wicker, Trisha Alderman, Kevin Craven and Dinosaur Dad. Plus there's been a few super stickers as well. Add to that the amount of very, very supportive comments, and you know, it's just rather great. My wife would also like to extend her thank yous for all of this, and my girls as well, who are going to get a couple of treats. But anyway, so as an update, I have been on to my insurance company today. It didn't take long, it took about 15 minutes. The bit that took a long time was when they called me back. Then that took about 2 hours. 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 2 hours, which was quite a significant amount of time. And that's not finished with yet either, because there's all sorts of other things to do. But, you know, you have to do these things. What about injuries? Well, I thought it was kind of okay, but I'm having quite a lot of unexpected back issues as well now, which I've always had a bit of a problem with my back, and this has just triggered it even further, which is not particularly helpful. My wife, who's in the other room there, has had some neck problems and then some proper arm problems as well, which has been funny. No, not funny. No, sorry about that. And my girls have had to take a day off school today because they really wasn't right this morning. Tomorrow they're also going to be off as well. We'll just see how that goes. They're not going to be really, no one's badly injured or anything, but there's definitely the effects of that shunt coming through quite well today, and probably even more so tomorrow. Anyway, back to those comments. My response to these comments is going to be to press that love thingy, that little love heart thingy, because it's going to take far too long, and I don't really want to be spending all evening just That sounds really ungrateful, doesn't it? That sounds a bit ungrateful, and I'm not ungrateful, but I quite like to get on and edit another video. So presumably you come to Project Nigel to watch videos rather than just to watch me waffle on about some thing that happened the other day. But some very interesting points were made in the comments there. One of them being the tow bar, Eric, probably saved the rear screen from being smashed, and that's been playing on my mind an awful lot. That it would have taken just a tiny bit more of an impact, or me to have had my handbrake on or my foot on the brake, and that rear screen would have gone, and the whole thing would have been so much more dramatic and so much more unpleasant. Also, there's quite a few people that are going to be well on board with the whole idea of fixing Eric, but at the moment I can't honestly say that that can happen, because the insurance company may come along, they may send someone from the insurance company, some sort of damage assessor, to have a look at it, or they may have it picked up and taken away, and it is obviously they're just going to sign it off as, you know, not worthwhile fixing. There's no doubt about that. But the thing that interests me, of course, is whether I can buy it back and whether I can fix it. Because I don't know that I can, and I don't want to start promising the idea of Eric will survive, Eric will live, all this kind of thing there, because if it doesn't happen, then it's going to be a rather big disappointment. And it is pretty badly crumpled underneath the boot there. But it'd be an awful shame for me to not try. So I can promise that I will be heading towards that happening at least. Somebody else said something about the benefits of having a more modern car is safety. That you can have a crash like this and you're perfectly okay. That kind of got me thinking, I really don't want some sort of modern thing or an Audi. I don't want an Audi just to protect myself against other people in Audis. I don't want one. I want what I have. I love having a Rover. Rovers are great cars. They're so good to drive, and you can't get that from a modern car. It's just not there at all. And the idea of buying a car for safety purposes only really doesn't appeal to me a great deal. It's like you buy a car to protect yourself from the people that really can't be asked to drive properly and look where they're going. But then another thing pops into my head. For my own purposes, fair enough, but as a family car, maybe I need something different. And I was having quite a big conversation with Boatsy today, because he came down, and it really got me thinking about something that I'd quite like to have a Volvo estate, a V70 estate, because it's a good looking car. I'm sure it's quite nice to live with, but it's also going to be very safe. And if there's any sort of progression whatsoever in Project Nigel land as to the car of choice that I make, that's probably going to be it. Anyway, I just wanted to say yet again, thank you very much for all of the support for this particular situation, and not only that, but for your continued support for the channel and helping keeping me inspired to keep going. It really does mean something to me to hear nice things, which I've had quite a lot of recently. So it is now 10:30, and I think I should start doing some video editing. Good night.